need everybody's help down there, especially by the 4th. You know, get down there at noon. We got birthday cake for everybody. We're going to have hot dogs down there. We're going to have a birthday party in the middle of a trial for my life. If I'm convicted, my medicine will be taken away. I'll be sent to prison and I'll die. So they're basically saying they're going to judge me regardless of the fact that I had to have the medicine. The decision to do what I did because if I didn't, I was going to die. I don't care how they try to justify it and say, oh, we really didn't do that. I'm a smart enough guy to understand truth. But I've had to educate everybody. The public defender's office, we've tried to educate the district attorney's office. He's told us that he will meet with us and get the science. It was a lie. He has not gotten with us to get the science any more than the congressman from Colorado, the Honorable Doug Lamborn. In the last year, we've tried to meet at his office just to discuss our issues, and the door is closed. So he doesn't represent all of the people in his constituency. He picks and chooses, and we don't count in the federal. We don't count in the county here now is what they're saying. But we've got checks and balances in our Constitution that doesn't allow one branch of the government to ramrod its citizens, and that check is the judiciary. And now the judiciary has a chance to say, let the truth come forward. Let's let everybody hear what the truth is. Let's not prejudice the trial because we still think the world is flat. See, we've got a judiciary system that thinks the world is flat, and I'm being judged for sailing around the world. They still want to prosecute me as a drug dealer, and in order to convict me, they want to prosecute me without me the ability to tell them that I'm a patient, to prove that I've got cancer, to prove that I'm curing cancer. Don't say you're curing cancer. I've been told that I'm immoral by Dan May, the man that's killing people by taking their medicine away from me, that I'm the immoral one telling people you can find a cure with cannabis to cancer. I've seen it stop seizures. I've seen lives changed. I've seen children have 90% of their seizures be reduced on cannabis. When medical science, the doctors of Western civilization say, go home, this is what life is going to be about, we can't help you. I've seen veterans who have symptomatic problems of throwing up 12 to 18 hours a day, 2 or 3 times a week, with cannabis now resetting their digestive system. They don't throw up anymore, and now they don't have these dissociative attacks that make them go psychotic. It's every 2 months that it was happening. Now it's not happening anymore. It's not happening anymore. It's not happening anymore. It's not happening anymore. It's not anymore.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
According to government documents, the DEA's administrative law judge, Francis Young, found there was incontrovertible evidence that cannabis was an effective medical treatment for nausea and appetite loss, multiple sclerosis, and spinal cord injury spasms. Judge Young ruled marijuana should be moved to Schedule II, writing, "The evidence in this record clearly shows that marijuana has been accepted as capable of relieving the distress of great numbers of very ill people. It would be unreasonable, arbitrary, and capricious for DEA to continue to stand between those sufferers and the benefits of this substance." For those who were concerned about marijuana's side effects, Young ruled that as a medicine under a doctor's supervision, marijuana in its natural form is one of the safest therapeutically active substances known to man.
Hi, I'm Robert Melamede, PhD. I'm an associate professor at the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs in the biology department. And I'm a very strong advocate for the use of medical marijuana for a whole lot of reasons, but all of them, in fact, other than my own personal experiences, are truly science-based. So that today we live in a world where we have a tremendous amount of knowledge about not only the body in general and how it works, but how the marijuana-like compounds, endocannabinoids that we all produce, wind up regulating literally everything in our body. So all of our body systems, our digestive system, respiratory system, immune system, reproductive system, nervous system, and anything I forgot, all of those are involved in a balancing act between what essentially amounts to pro-inflammatory biochemistry and anti-inflammatory biochemistry. And those are held in check as they go back and forth. You have an inflammation because you have an infection. You got to pull that back so that you're no longer in that inflamed state. And that's what one of the many things that your endocannabinoid system participates in turning down these inflammatory responses. And there's tremendous amount of significance to that, because 100 years ago, when we lived in a much dirtier environment with less options with respect to certain kinds of medicines, like antibiotics, because they were not available, under those conditions, people were dying at a younger age, and they were dying predominantly from from infectious diseases. Today, what we're dying from are age-related diseases, of which free radicals are believed to be one of the fundamental etiological components. In other words, free radicals are thought to be responsible for aging. So that it turns out that inflammation and free radicals kind of go hand in hand. They're part of the same biochemistry. And the way our bodies turn down that response is by the use of endocannabinoids, these marijuana-like compounds that we produce from essential fatty acids. We all hear how essential fatty acids are important for your health and for protecting your heart. What's not mentioned is that they are converted into endocannabinoids, and we know that endocannabinoids protect your heart and have all sorts of other health benefits. So, you know, we just need such a higher new degree of education, and it's not happening sufficiently, certainly in our schools. I probably teach one of the only courses on endocannabinoids and medical marijuana in the country, and yet we're dealing with something that's so fundamental to all of our lives, to how we work, and to conditions where we have imbalances. We all suffer a common imbalance. We're all getting older. So these age-related illnesses come as a result of the accumulation of these inflammatory conditions, so to speak, until the weakest link in our individual chain breaks, and that becomes an illness that we have to then deal with. And here you have this plant that can be grown very effectively and inexpensively, that has components, some of which are of profound medical value, that don't even get you high, but they're still illegal because of some totally undivine wisdom here. So we have to make some significant changes. We have to be able to use these plant materials in combination, because it's the whole milieu that has an impact. What you want to do with changing towards health is impact not just one little place, but you want to impact the whole system and move the whole body towards health. And the way these cannabinoids work on so many different levels within your biochemistry, within your organized systems, it's how they culminate to help move an individual towards health. You know, the fact that they're involved in your sleeping, your eating, your appetite, you know, your reproductive behavior, everything that's positive is tuned with these things. And it's just insane what's going on. That this is not readily available, that people get arrested for it, people get put in jail, and we have to pay for the special privilege of getting permits so that we can get our medicine. This is just something's fundamentally wrong. Time for a change.